That's why open woke sessions. Mind, body, soul, no second guessing. Spilling truths, no sugarcoat dressing. Wisdom hunting, cash and knowledge blessing. Hands to the streets, wide open the road. Eyes on the prize, ain't no time for jokes, lies, and highs. These chains we roll, truth on the mic, destiny and vote. Hands to the streets, wide open.
Hello, fam. How y'all doing out there in that wide open woke community? Y'all being out there, man. Y'all catching anything on any good videos out there? Y'all keeping your eyes to the skies? Keep your eyes to the skies because you guys are going to see some sights coming up before the end of this month that's going to keep you looking up to that sky. Yep. Pay attention. Watch the sky. All right. We're going to come in on part 2 of the Alien Messiahs. We still got the Alien Messiahs. We got to finish that one out. And then we got some other videos. I'm going to give you a teaser. We do have other, like the David Icke and all these other videos on consciousness and all the old stuff that was out here that's been suppressed that you won't find it anywhere else. Actually, I'm trying to find a server. So if anybody can help me out with a server, holler at me. Send me an email. You'll see it. Just email my email right there on Wide Open Woke Podcast. Energize me at 612. You'll see it. Anyway, yes. So we're coming with part 2. We're going to go ahead and get this finished out here because I can't wait to get into this other material that I got to get out here for you guys. So without further ado, let's get into
only creatures, and they too had an atom from whom the entire species developed. It also talks about the other worlds being possibly greater than the 7 heavens and 7 earths. One verse translates to Allah will bring together the life in the heavenly bodies and the life on earth when He so pleases. The Bible contains an iconic phrase that translates to, let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock
every religion
and all
has
the wild
that.
animals, and over all creatures that move along the ground. The words us and our clearly indicates plurality, and if that's the case, is God singular in nature? It's ridiculous to state this is what was meant, but it is an interesting question to ask. Is it possible that God might be a being from a distant part of our universe? The Vatican has stated that they do believe in the existence of extraterrestrial beings. The Vatican astronomer Guy Consolano thinks that angels morning.
Hold up. Y'all just said that. Y'all see that? It said that the Vatican believes in those UFOs. The Vatican believes in that UFOs. They should, because they got some UFO evidence in the bottom of that Vatican, down in that basement. Yeah, y'all got evidence down there. You sure do. Matter of fact, y'all was known for holding one UFO back for, was it Mussolini or one of the guys back then? It was from Italy or something like that, and y'all had US come in and grab it. Yeah, no. They know about the UFOs, so that's why they're accepting it. And it's funny how today you guys got this religion. You see how the Pope is coming out and accepting same-sex marriage, something that throughout the Bible they say it was all against same-sex. Oh, we're all against it. So yeah, they were all against it. And I come to find, because I was at one point I was like, oh, being brainwashed against it too. When I just come to learn that, hey, you can't judge people on that, man. You gotta let people live their life. You know, if they want to go that way, you gotta let them go. You can't judge them. Matter of fact, you can't even go out your life without judging. And you can't go judging another person. You have to let them live their life and love them unconditionally from where they're at, whatever they're going through. You have to love them unconditionally. So it's a whole different thing than what they're talking about. But anyway, here's the catch. So now the church is saying, Oh, the Pope is saying, well, we're going to have to do these same-sex marriages. And then all these other churches is popping up, especially these black churches. Oh, hell no, we ain't doing none of them same-sex marriages over here. We ain't doing it over here. But they coming in to cut that money off and say, you better do it, or we're going to take that money away from you. Then what you going to do then? What you going to do then? See, y'all lucky that part of most of your organizations of that church is broken off from that Vatican. I know some of these organizations are broken away from the Vatican control of that sector of the money, and so they don't really have to worry about that. But if the Vatican start coming in and controlling your section of dioceses, or your Baptist dioceses or your Church of God in Christ dioceses, and when the Vatican come in and make them changes, it make them changes. So y'all better be ready for it, because and then we're gonna see what y'all gonna say, because that's gonna be the uproar right there. And I can't wait to see it. I would be laughing my tail off. I would be cracking up like a bug. Here we go.
Stars and heavenly beings might be from a different planet altogether. The ascension of Elijah can be perceived as an alien abduction due to some factors. The verse roughly translates to Elijah being taken up to the heavens by the Lord in a chariot of fire. This may sound like just a statement made from imagination, but why a chariot on fire? In what way would a chariot on fire be associated with a good thought? Any vehicle on fire is a terrible image to imagine. There is not a single aspect to that term which makes you think it is glorious. The verse says, "And it came to pass, as they still went on and talked, that behold, there appeared a chariot of fire, horses of fire, and parted them both asunder. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven." Then it proceeds to say, "Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord." Sounds sort of like an alien abduction, doesn't it? Numerous Torah scholars of past and present generations have spoken about references to extraterrestrial life on Earth. In the book of Judges, Deborah, the prophetess, sings about the victory achieved by Barak over Sisera and says, "Cursed be Moraz, cursed be its inhabitants," says the angel of God. What is Moraz, and where is its inhabitants? Some people believe that Moraz is either a star or a planet, and that the heavenly bodies spoken about in the religious books refer to beings from other planets. Deborah also states, "From the heavens the stars fought. From their courses they fought against Sisera." The star mentioned here, however, didn't come to their aid, and General Barak went on to penalize Moraz and its inhabitants. In the ancient Indian texts, there are several references to possible alien technology. Here are a few of such verses. At Rama's behest, the magnificent chariot rose up to a mountain of cloud with a tremendous din, and Bhima flew with his Vyama on an enormous ray which was as brilliant as the sun and made a noise like the thunder of a storm. An individual named Asura Maya is also described as possessing a Vyama, or an aircraft, that measured 12 cubits in circumference with 4 wheels. There's also a scene which describes Indra's dart, which is operated with a circular reflector. Once the weapon is switched on, it produced a shaft of light which, when focused on a target, would obliterate it. The incident written about the downfall of Sodom and Gomorrah is one of the clearer references to possible extraterrestrial intervention. One of the verses says, "Then the Lord rained down burning sulfur on Sodom and Gomorrah from the Lord out of the heavens. Thus he overthrew those cities and the entire plain, destroying all those living in the cities, and also the vegetation in the land. But Lot's wife looked back, and she became a pillar of salt. There is a lot of firepower, and everything described here sounds eerily similar to what happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. When Hiroshima was being rebuilt, the presence of stretches of sand transformed into glazed silicon was found due to atomic action. This is another instance of what looks like nuclear war in ancient Indian texts. An ancient verse says, Gurkha, flying in his swift and powerful Vyama, hurled against the three cities of Divitius and Andhascus a single projectile charged with all the power of the universe. An incandescent column of smoke and fire, as brilliant as 10,000 suns, rose in all its splendor. It was the unknown weapon, the Iron Thunderbolt, a gigantic messenger of death, which reduced to ashes the entire race of the Vishyas and Andhakas. It goes on to describe how those burnt by this weapon were reduced to ashy corpses. The survivors, who were far away from the point of impact, had their hair and nails fall out. This definitely sounds eerily similar to a nuclear war. There are a lot of channeled books out there. There are a lot of people who channel out there. And there are a lot of people who firmly believe that the beings they are channeling are aliens. And then they write books about it. They believe this because the beings themselves said they were aliens. The whole idea of communicating with aliens isn't new. Johann Kepler wrote a novel that was published by his son in 1634 called The Dream, which was about how the Earth might look from the moon. The main characters got this information from a demon that lived on the moon, an alien. One of the early developers of automatic writing in the early 1900s was a French woman with the stage name Helen Smith. Her real name was Catherine Elise Muller. She had a bossy spirit guide named Leopold, who told her all kinds of things, including what Martians looked like. Then there's the writings of Richard S. Shaver, who worked in a noisy factory in the 30s, who started hearing voices that claimed to be aliens. He wrote down what those voices told him and sent it to Amazing Stories magazine, where it was published. To this day, some people truly believe he was communicating with aliens and use pieces of his story as part of their belief system. But it's more likely that he was just a creative guy with a touch of schizophrenia. According to Sanya Roman and Diane Packer, authors of Opening to Channel, How to Connect with Your Guide, channeling is a powerful means of spiritual unfoldment and conscious transformation. As you channel, you build a bridge to the higher realms, a loving, caring, purposeful, creative higher consciousness that has been called God, the all that is, or the universal mind. Channeling involves consciously shifting your mind and mental space in order to achieve an expanded state of consciousness. To achieve this expanded state of consciousness, channelers usually meditate, trying to break free of worldly influences and tune in to a higher consciousness. They may imagine themselves seeking out specific spirits of the dead, or they may be contacted, apparently unbidden, by some unknown force that wishes to communicate. In addition to having ancient legends that tell tales of beings from the sky, we as a species have been obsessed with the stars and our place in the universe since we developed the ability to recognize patterns and the corresponding ability to be fooled by patterns which aren't really there, which is called pareidolia. We looked up and saw what the stars' alignment at certain times during the year looked like, and groups of stars themselves look like objects. But those constellations are seen as completely different objects to different people in different places and times. The stars, which make up our constellations, are really millions of miles apart, and some of them may even be burned out by now, which we won't register until their light goes out millions of years from now. Why would spirits contact people and tell them they're aliens? For the same reason that human beings say outlandish things. They want attention. Edward Albert Meyer, born on February the 3rd of 1937, is a Swiss citizen who is the source of many controversial photographs of alleged unidentified flying objects, which he presents in support of his claim that he is in contact with extraterrestrial beings. He also presented other controversial material during the 1970s, such as metal samples, sound recordings, and film footage. Meyer reports regular contact with extraterrestrials he calls the Pleiadian. Meyer claims that the Pleiadian look similar in appearance to humans, that the Pleiadian homeworld is called Era, and that in its location in a dimension which is a fraction of a second shifted from our own dimension, about 80 light years beyond the Pleiades, it's an open star cluster. Pleiadian were given the name Pleiadians by Meyer up to 1995. Edward Billy Myers claimed his first extraterrestrial contact occurred in 1942 at the age of 5 with an elderly extraterrestrial human named Seth. Contacts with Seth lasted until 1953. From 1953 to 1964, Myers' contacts continued with an extraterrestrial human woman named Ascot Meyer, saying that after an 11-year break, contacts resumed again, beginning on January 28th of 75, with an extraterrestrial human woman named Samjis, the granddaughter of Seth. In his teens, Meyer joined the French Foreign Legion, but says he soon left and returned home. He traveled extensively around the world, pursuing spiritual exploration, covering some 42 countries over 12 years. In 65, he lost his left arm in a bus accident in Turkey. In 1966, he met and married a Greek woman, Calliope, with whom he has 3 children. The nickname Billy came by way of an American friend who thought Meyer's cowboy style of dress reminded her of Billy the Kid. Meyer has accumulated a large collection of controversial photographs showing alleged spaceships called beam ships, as well as alleged extraterrestrial humanoids called the Pleiadian. Meyer says the Pleiadian gave him permission to photograph and film their beam ships in order to produce some of the evidence for extraterrestrial visitation. Meyer's claims are disputed by UFO skeptics as well as some UFO enthusiasts. Many of Meyer's proponents and believers exist among UFO enthusiasts. and his evidence has seen increased exposure through the efforts of an American representative, Michael Horn, who has appeared on popular late-night paranormal programs such as Coast to Coast AM. Beginning in 1975, Meyer allegedly began his official contacts, official in that evidence was to be provided publicly, unlike other contacts, communicating both directly or face-to-face and by telepathy with a core group of the Pleiadians, or Erans, as he also refers to them, Era being their home planet. He gave their names as Ptah, Samjiz, Quetzal, and Plaje, among numerous others. According to Meyer in the video documentary Contact, his first contact with extraterrestrials began in January of 1975. These visitors reportedly hail from the Pleiadian star system, which is beyond the Pleiades and in a dimension that is a fraction of a second in the future from our own, an alternate timeline. These Pajaran have allegedly afforded Meyer a more interesting sampling of evidence than that derived from most such encounters, including highly detailed photography, videos, multi-toned sound recordings, the temporary use of a weapon which he employed for trial on a nearby tree, and metal alloy samples. Meyer claims the visitors charged him with certain information and consciousness-raising tasks. As he undertook this mission, he met with a great deal of scorn and assassination attempts. Some of these were allegedly initiated by hostile extraterrestrial entities and subsequently defeated largely through the intervention of the Pleiadian friends. Meyer allegedly was uncomfortable with the megalomaniacal association which would attach to his role as a representative, such as the term prophet, but he undertook the effort nonetheless. Meyer claims that he was instructed to transcribe his conversations with various extraterrestrials, some of which have been published in the German language. These books are referred to as the Contact Notes or Contact Reports. Currently, there are 9 published volumes of the Contact Reports. Some of the Contact Reports were translated into English, extensively edited and expurged, and published in the out-of-print Volume 4 set of Messages from the Pleiades by Meyer's case investigator Wendell Stevens. Meyer's alleged discussions with the Pleiadians are highly detailed and wide-ranging, dealing with subjects ranging from spirituality and the afterlife to the dangers of mainstream religions, human history, science, and astronomical phenomena, ecology, and environmental dangers, in addition to prophecies of future historic trends and events. An additional aspect of the Meyer case is the highly controversial book, the Talmud Jamal. It is said to be the translation of ancient Arabic scrolls that were discovered by Meyer and a colleague in Jerusalem in 1963. The book claims to be the original teachings and life events of a man named Jamal. Extensive study has been made of the book by James Deardoff. Some of the most important evidence for Meyer's claims come from his large collection of controversial photographs. These include images of alleged spacecraft in the Swiss countryside, the Apollo-Soyuz 1975 docking, and distant astronomical phenomena. Supporters insist that the images are exceptionally high quality and that a one-armed man could not possibly have fabricated them. Critics such as Stanton Friedman and Jacques Vallée believe them to be fakes. Some critics have provided examples of similar faked photographs and have pointed out that some of his photos are taken from science fiction books paintings, and television programs. Meyer claims that these photos were altered by intelligence agencies and slipped into his collection in order to discredit his UFO testimony. Other allegations include focus and light direction problems consistent with cut and paste and model techniques. The metal alloy samples are said to have been given to Meyer by the Pleiadians and then passed on to Wendell Stevens, who then had them tested by chemist Marcel Vogel. Vogel said that in his view, the samples could not have been made by means of contemporary earthly metallurgy, as they were apparently produced via cold fusion. Vogel also stated that the metal vanished from the IBM laboratory not long after his work was completed, which prevented other scientists from performing their own analysis on it. As recounted in the unabridged version of Message from the Pleiades, Volume 2, Meyer was taken back in time by the extraterrestrial Asket, where he met personally with Jamal, alleged to be the real Jesus Christ, and who told Meyer that Meyer's evolution was higher than that of Jamal himself, saying, "Truly, your evolution has proceeded for 2,000 years further, which fact I have not considered." The contact with Jamal lasted for 4 days, after which Meyer was returned to the present time. Billy Meyer repeatedly warns of an impending Third World War beginning in November of 2006, 2008, 2010, or 2011. He has also denounced the terrorist activities and vigilante behavior of various Muslim extremist groups, which he says only foment the possibility of war. At one time, Meyer suggested November 2006 as the most likely start of World War III, then revised the date to November 2008, a period that has also now passed. In any case, Meyer states that in an approaching year, 4 world leaders will die within 7 days of one another, giving a clear sign that within a mere 2 years of those events, the long-feared World War will indeed erupt. That is, unless terrestrials finally gain mastery over their reason and change their behavior, insisting that these prophecies are all subject to change as opposed to inevitabilities. Billy Meyer is alive today and continues to teach his alien religion.
What's up?
Realism is a UFO religion that was formed in 1974 by Claude Verlhan, now known as Real. The Realian movement teaches that life on Earth was scientifically created by a species of extraterrestrial, which they call the Elohim. Members of this species appeared human when having personal contact with the descendants of the humans that they made. They purposefully misinformed early humanity that they were angels or gods. Realians believe that messengers or prophets of the Elohim, including Buddha, Jesus, and others, who informed the humans of each era. The founder of Realism received the final message of the Elohim, and that its purpose is to inform the world about Elohim, and that if humans become aware and peaceful enough, they wish to be welcomed by them. The Realian religion has a quasi-clerical structure of 7 levels. Joining the movement requires an official apostasy from other religions. Realism ethics include striving for world peace, sharing, democracy, and nonviolence. Rael founded Clonad, originally Valiant Venture Ltd. Corporation, in 1997, but then handed it over to a Raelian bishop, Bridget Brosier, in 2000. In 2002, the company claimed that an American woman underwent a standard cloning procedure that led to the birth of a daughter, Eve. Although few believed the claim, it nonetheless attracted national authorities and mainstream media to look further into the Raelian cult. The Raelians frequently used the swastika as a symbol of peace, which halted Raelian requests for territory in Israel and later Lebanon for establishing an embassy for extraterrestrials. The religion also uses the swastika embedded on the Star of David. Between 1991 and 2007, this symbol was often replaced by a variant star and swirl symbol in an attempt to improve public relations, particularly with Israel. Raelians do not believe in a god or other deity, but in extraterrestrials. Former clergy of mainstream religions have joined the Raelian Church, especially in Quebec. The structure of the movement had promoted some of them to the level of priest or bishop due to extensive Bible training and teaching skills. 2 ex-Roman Catholic priests converted to Raelism. A former bishop of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints joined the Raelian movement so he could be openly gay. The Raelian Mark Woodgate stated that 8% of Raelians worldwide are former Latter-day Saints. Religiously mixed couples are common, especially with spouses who are Christians or Buddhists. Raelianism claims that all life on Earth, humans included, was created scientifically by Elohim, members of an extraterrestrial race who appeared similar to small humans and so were often depicted as angels or gods. Raelians, who are not monotheists, believe the correct historical meaning of the word Elohim is the plural sense, those who came from the sky. Belief in extraterrestrial Elohim plays a central part in Clonad's claim of offering cloning services for homosexual and infertile couples who want a child cloned from a partner's DNA. Raelians believe that throughout the ages, members of the Elohim civilization sent different prophets, including Moses, Jesus, Buddha, and many others, whose role was to guide humanity and to prepare humans for the future, all of whom were created as a result of a sexual union between a human woman and one of the Elohim. To Raelians, this was possible because the Elohim had advanced DNA synthesis and genetic engineering. The Elohim later reduced the frequent visits so that humans were largely left to progress on their own until the time of the apocalypse, when they would send their final messenger and disclose themselves at an extraterrestrial embassy, establishing political and economic ties. Raelians believe that sex is a normal, natural, and healthy part of life and encourage people to be true to their natural sexuality. They promote healing from damaging messages from strict puritanical belief systems and social stigmas that stifle one's natural sexuality. Acceptance of masturbation, homosexuality, bisexuality, pansexuality, naturalism, and any legal, safe, and consensual adult activity is promoted as part of a healthy and long life, and this is used to attract young converts to the religion. Raelians believe that sexuality is a gift of pleasure to mankind from the Elohim. Raelians believe in reclaiming the swastika by restoring its historical meaning as a symbol of peace and good luck. The swastika has been used for millennia in the East as a religious symbol of peace and harmony. A question like, are aliens real, is a
Yeah,
complex
they
one.
are real.
Without even establishing first contact with aliens or extraterrestrials, they have
We don't
already
have to.
infiltrated our mass.
We don't have to. They are real. Yes, they are real. They've been writing on cave walls for all these centuries, trying to explain to us what they've been seeing. Now we know what they've been seeing, and what they've been seeing was the truth. So all this truth and stuff you guys are under control, it's over with.
Consciousness
Control
on many
stuff.
levels. At the primal level, they have given us new nightmares to contend with and up the ante on the available fears we draw upon each day.
Yeah.
More positively, they have appeared in books and films in ways that stretch our imagination and give us hope that there may be others in the universe that share our experience of life.
Yes, indeed.
Sorting through the abundance of information about aliens, however, either through the media, UFO forums, or channeled material, is quite an undertaking.
Mm.
Names of the different alien races, what they look like, and what their intentions might be, are as disparate as the number of sources providing them. But it appears that aliens, in some cases, are replacing God, or at the least, redefining him. Even Catholics now accept aliens as a very real aspect of life.
Look at that.
Perhaps religion is changing because we are changing. Moving deeper into a technological world, we can probably expect more new belief systems to emerge. After all, from 50 years ago to today, our world looks like science fiction. People will always believe in something, and if it brings them peace and exuberance, who's to say it's wrong?
Roger, you ready for contact? It's always, y'all just get ready for contact. Yeah, y'all get ready for contact. That's how that's coming down right now, y'all. But you know, that was the second part of the alien messiahs. But you know, they've always been here since the beginning of time. So why is the fact that now is the time that they come forth? Did you hear about how they have have our government is the different factions that have contact with them already told us that they are pretty upset with us, or they're pretty upset with our government because they've been keeping us in the dark for way too long. That we should have been evolved by now, but now they're going to just start showing up. So that's what they've been doing. So the alien presence is here. So I say get ready for another show. We're gonna have something before the end of this month, or it's gonna come out, and keep your eyes to the skies. Excuse me. Keep your eyes to the skies, and you will see something up there that is gonna make you surprised. Yep, you never know what you might see. But anyway, fam, peace, love, and light. Until we get this new video out here, we're gonna get some more information out to you as soon as possible. I want to get some more deep information, stuff that you just can't find nowhere, period, and get it out to you. So that's what's main. That's the main goal. But we love you out there. Peace, love, and light. And we'll see you next time.
Blast wide open, woke sessions. Mind, body, soul, no second guessing. Spilling truths, no sugarcoat dressing. Wisdom hunting, cash and knowledge blessing. Hands to the streets, wide open the road. Eyes on the prize, ain't no time for jokes, lies and eyes. These chains we roll, shoot on the mic, destiny and vote. Hands to the streets, wide open.